Good morning and happy almost Thanksgiving Eve. If I look a little ashy, I put my sunblock and my moisturizer on in reverse, so I probably got this pasty look on my face, which I hate. But anyway, let's address the elephant in the room, okay? There's nothing like a holiday that exposes generational trauma. There's nothing like a holiday that exposes the cracks that are going on in the family. Now, this is not to be negative, and this is not even to be negative with my family. And I've been transparent in this whole healing process, and the reason why I really want to be transparent in this whole healing process is because upon my mother's passing, and realizing that you have no surviving parents and no surviving grandparents, there's going to be a new sense of self that is reborn from that. And I'm completely okay with that. I'm completely okay with that now. I still have days where I wish I could call my mom up. 919-218-7684. I wish I could call her up and ask her for some advice. However, I'm very thankful that God has his hands on myself and my brothers throughout the process. But one of the things that I want to talk about or mention or highlight, and I pray that you realize that too, is that in the generational traumas that come around the holidays, there's certain things that you're always mindful of. Case in point, I'll just give this first one. Generational trauma and generational issues around the holidays, finances, okay? Because everybody wants to do it real big and do it up, and I'm guilty of this. That's transparency for you. Everybody wants to do it up real big and do it real large until you get the price tag and realize that you ain't had your coins together. And I'm not saying this year. I'm saying in previous years, you realize that you ain't got your coins together enough for you to have this big extravagant thing, okay? It's an opportunity for you to go back and see where those cracks are, see what's going on in your finances. I know for me, usually around this time of year, I'm drained, I'm tired. And that is partly because I'm stretching myself in a million different areas with a million different tasks and a million different jobs, and I'm exhausted. I don't have the energy to entertain anybody else for the holidays. This time last year, I lost my dog, one of my dogs. And so I didn't have the energy for that. Like I said, I think, and same thing with just kind of presence and people, holidays tend to expose some of the things that don't go right with families, the secrets that happen between families, and the strife that happens in between siblings, parents, grandparents. Usually the holidays tend to expose the generational traumas for sure. Best remedy for that is I highly recommend that you heal yourself first, okay? And if that means you kind of staying away from family for a little bit, or you need to take a little vacation or do a staycation or go to Cracker Barrel. One year my mom and I went a couple of years back, and we went to Cracker Barrel. Mind you, don't sleep on Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel's Thanksgiving, or just their food in general, is the bomb. But anyway, my mom and I went to Cracker Barrel one year in Louisville, Kentucky, or as the locals say, Louisville, because I'm not from the state. But we went out there, went to Cracker Barrel, and there were so many solo people in there. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? There's absolutely, positively nothing wrong with that. But highly recommend that in order for you to tackle generational trauma is to heal yourself first. And what I mean by healing yourself first, people are really big on this whole life audit thing. You really got to ask yourself, what are you striving for? What are you really pushing for? And how did you get distracted off your goals? How far off did you get distracted from your goals? What caused you to get distracted from your goals? What setbacks did you have for yourself? So I think today's a good day that if you're going to do it solo or without family, maybe, take inventory of what's going on in your own personal life and what are things that you can heal. Maybe you might decide to get into therapy and that type of thing. Get your finances in order, read, that type of thing. Okay. And then on top of that, when you feel healed enough to go back around into certain situations, then you can re-enter yourself, okay? Because then you're much more aware and much more knowledgeable and prepared on how to manage those things that generational traumas and stuff like that tend to expose and bring up. People are always going to be disturbed when you're healed. Okay, people are always going to be disturbed when you're healing. People are always going to try to find cracks in your situation. Okay, but don't let it happen. I will tell you this, just like I said, on transparency, but without going too deep into detail. One of the generational traumas that I really, in my own family, that I tend to struggle with is that for a certain amount of time, we've let certain people into our lives that have purposely caused drama. And as a result, because of the drama that was caused by certain people don't want to get together because those separate parties think that, that there's a one-up competition over the other because that one person in the middle of both parties caused a rift, okay? And, that one person was back and forth trying to cause, that one person made it a competition, put it to you like that. And as a result of that one person making it a competition between two different parties, those two different parties really struggle to come together. And it's the part that both individuals on separate occasions have to realize that it was never a competition in the first place. However, in those two separate parties, they're going to have to accept differences. You know what I'm saying? People do different things, and that's okay. Don't be so quick to judge. That's important, because I think the part of the healing process is that not only you don't judge yourself, but being mindful when someone else wants to say something and you not being offended when someone says something that makes you uncomfortable, okay? Address it politely. Address it politely in such a way that it still respects your boundaries, but it's still respectful, because not everybody is ready to embrace boundaries. Let me just say that. Not everybody is ready to embrace boundaries. And if there's people that are not ready to embrace boundaries, that's okay. Okay? It just probably is an opportunity for you to get into a space where someone can address boundaries. Or if you really knowing that, to repair the relationship, some things has to come in small doses, that's okay too. Okay? God called us to be in constant partnership with each other, whether it be in a spousal relationship, sibling relationship, parent relationship, friendship, partnership, but God called us to be good stewards of those ships, okay, if you get my drift. And, when I think about it, I think about the biggest ship out of the Bible in the book of Genesis that Noah had to get on, and everybody, in order to preserve what God called, he did it in pairs. Okay, so and he put it on a ship, put it on a boat, and that essentially by itself, and Noah was, he stewarded that well. So it's so important for us to steward these relationships well, and repair. And sometimes if there is no opportunity for repair is non-existent, it's totally okay to say, you know what, this ain't it. Not say anything bad, not say anything negative, but wish them well and continue to pray for them. That's all I got. So I pray you have a fantastic holiday season. I love the holidays. Thanksgiving, this past Thanksgiving, I'm just working my tail off. And I will tell you, that's probably a generational thing that I'm trying to work through. It's not working so damn much. Good grief. Okay. There's no benefit to it. So, but anyway, there is benefit to it, but there's not. That's a whole nother video. But I pray you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. God bless.